Hey guys, welcome to Neat Movie News. My name is Dean Thomas, and it is time to turn our calendars because it is officially September, and that can be a little disappointing. It's disappointing for me and probably some of you because that means we have to go back to school this month. But let's look on the bright side of things because there is plenty of good movies coming out in September. So if there's only 3 movies you can see this month, I've got the 3 you really should be looking forward to. But I mean, there were a lot this month. It was hard to really narrow it down to just 3. So a couple honorable mentions: Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, basically Tim Burton's X-Men, and the trailers look cool, just didn't quite make the list. You got Snowden, based on the true story. We'll see how that goes. Oliver Stone can be hit and miss, and that accent Joseph Gordon-Levitt's doing is a little off-putting, but whatever. You've got Morgan, the kind of sci-fi horror movie that was so close to making my list because it's really got like an Ex Machina sort of feel to me, and that was one of my favorite movies of the past couple years. And lastly, you even had Sully, which would probably be on my list if Clint Eastwood hadn't made some hit or miss movies lately, because he was so great in the 90s and early 2000s, but recently he hasn't made too many great movies, so Sully didn't quite make the list for that reason. So let's jump onto my actual list of 3 movies that did make my list. Let's start at number 3, The Light Between Oceans.
Dearest Isabel, I can't stop thinking about the time I spent with you.
Now, this is a movie that I've been looking forward to a long time. The director, Derek Cianfrance, I'm sure I'm butchering that last name, but he did Blue Valentine and The Place Beyond the Pines, 2 movies that I absolutely love. And so when he comes at this movie, he's so great with like relationships and interwoven stories together that I was really excited for this movie. The trailer just grabbed me. But to be honest, the main reason I'm excited for this movie is because of the 2 leads. My 2 favorite actors working in the business today are Michael Fassbender and Alicia Vikander. Those are my 2 favorite actors in the business today. So the fact that they're both starring in this movie just got me excited alone. The story looks really compelling. It's set in the 1920s on this like lone island where this couple kind of lives. Some tragic stuff goes down, and that's where the story goes.
Just be a coincidence that she showed up.
She's a lovely baby, but you can't keep her.
She needs us.
This movie had me from moment one because the director and the actors, and then the trailer only got me more excited for it. So that is my number 3. So let's move on to number 2. It's a remake, the 3rd one actually in the series, because there was one way back in the 30s, and that's The Magnificent
Took
Seven.
a job looking for some men to join me.
Is it difficult?
Impossible.
How many you got so far?
You and me,
Who's she?
we work for her.
Antoine Fuqua directs this. I mean, he's been pretty hit or miss here lately, but I really like Southpaw, and I love Western, so of course I'm going to go for this. And this looks like just a fun, action-packed, popcorn sort of Western in September, so this really does look like a ton of fun. I mean, the cast is great. Chris Pratt, Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke, Vincent D'Onofrio. I mean, the list goes on and on of who's in this movie, and I really, like I said, I really enjoy Westerns. I really like the 1960s version, and this one looks like it's even ramping up that action and that just fun even more.
You ain't never seen a soldier like me. 1, 2, 3, I'm a vigilante. 4, 5, 6, kiss that ass goodbye. When I pull the gun, then somebody gotta die.
So I'm really looking forward to this, and it looks like it's also got a lot of humor. I mean, you'd imagine that with Chris Pratt in there, and any movie he's in, I want to see regardless. But throwing that it's a Western has already got me my money, so I will be seeing this opening weekend for sure. So that is my number 2. So let's move into my number 1 most anticipated movie of the month of September, and that is Deepwater Horizon.
Is there someone at your door?
Are you seeing this?
Based on the true story of the oil rig explosion in the Gulf of Mexico just a couple years ago. I'm sure you've all heard of this. You all watched it on the news. And the main reason this movie really gets me excited is because it's Peter Berg directing it. Peter Berg, who directed Lone Survivor, is so good at getting real gritty sort of performances from his actors, and his action is really gripping, intense, and you feel every little, like even in this trailer, when something breaks or erupts, you feel the impact of it. This movie looks powerful. I think it's a story that obviously a lot of people would be interested in seeing. He's reteaming with Mark Wahlberg once again. So I really am looking forward to this movie because I do know the basic ideas of the story, but to really see it from the perspective of the workers on the oil rig and the families at home who really weren't sure what was going on at the time, that's what I'm really looking forward to. And like I said, because Peter Berg's directing this, and I loved Lone Survivor, which he did, we'll forget about Battleship. I mean, that's not a strong suit. But so this looks like it's right in his wheelhouse. These are the kind of moves I want to see him doing. So I am extremely excited for Deepwater Horizon. That's why it's my #1 movie, most anticipated movie for the month of September. So let's run down this list again. Number 3, The Light Between Oceans. Number 2, The Magnificent Seven. And number 1, Deepwater Horizon. That is my list for the 3 movies, you guys. If you're only going to go to the movie theater 3 times, or if you're only going to go once, those are the movies you should be going out to see because I think they are going to be the best movies of September. And a couple of them may have some Oscar chances too as we get into Oscar season here in September. So once again, guys, those are my 3 movies for the month of September, the 3 movies that you should be looking forward to the most. If there's anything that you think should have made my list, jump in the comments below. Let me know. Maybe one of some of those honorable mentions is a movie you're really looking forward to. I'd love to hear your argument as to why it should have been on the list. But thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you follow me at Neat Movie News on Twitter for all the latest in the world of movie news. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you back here next time.